it's Talisha, and today I am doing a video about Isabelle. I will also update you guys on Bambi in this video, but it's not going to be centralized around Bambi or anything. It's going to be more about Isabelle. But for those wondering, Bambi is going really, really well. She's healing amazingly. She's just a superstar. Like, I don't know how she heals so well and so quickly. I will show you some clips of what her wound is currently looking at. If you haven't watched the video that I posted about her injury, I suggest watching that first so you can see the progress. But I will show you that a bit later on. But let's talk about Isabelle. And Jep's obviously going well. Jep's just always going well. She's loving it. Both of them are still at the property with Isabelle as well. They are not in with Isabelle yet, but I'm hoping that will change soon. I'm hoping I can get Bambi and Jep out in one of the big paddocks now that Bambi's wound is at a better stage and she can move around a bit more. I might still wait a couple more weeks though, just because I don't want her getting up too much speed. It's still not quite at a stage where she should be running around or anything, so that's why she's still in the smaller paddocks. But I have opened up one of the bottom pens for them, so they have access to two decent sized yards. So here is Bambi's wound currently. This is where it is at. It's healing really well. I've just washed it off, hence why there's water dripping everywhere. But as you can see, the skin has started to grow back here and all over the back of her bulb too. Really good. Really happy. But yes, those two are going great. Now, on to Isabelle. The first few clips you will see of Isabelle is her getting her shoes off. So yes, the first thing is to have her shoes off. And that's what I'll quickly show you now. She is on dirt, but here is Isabelle's feet. Let's think 2 days after they've been pulled. So yeah, she's on dirt, so you can't see them perfectly, but still looking really nice, obviously. But she was an angel for the farrier, as I expected. Really, really quiet, and he already loves her because she was really, really sensible. Look at her dirty little nose. Hi. So, for those of you who don't know, I have never owned my own off-the-track thoroughbred before. I actually learnt how to ride on a few off-the-tracks. So, I've ridden, and since then, and since owning my own horses, I have also ridden many, many, many off-the-track thoroughbreds. But, apart from that, I've also worked with racehorses since I was 15. I'm 20 for those wondering. I also worked as a track rider for about 1.5 years, so I have a massive amount of knowledge about the racing industry and how they are worked and their kind of regimes, what they're fed, and just their schedules as such. So I got Isabelle straight after her last race, a day after she arrived. And the first thing I wanted to do was take her shoes off. So she had her shoes on for about a week or two. My farrier couldn't get out as soon as I wanted him to, so she's had the shoes on for about 2 weeks, and all 4, because that's what racehorses always have. So the first thing I wanted to do was take her shoes off. Now, if you guys aren't sure about why I wanted to do this, the reason is because racehorses are shod at a very early age. This wasn't the case with Isabelle, but I will explain it to you. Racehorses tend to be shod really, really early. For example, yearlings that are going to yearling sales, they are 1-year-olds, they are shod, all 4 feet, before they go to the sales. They are typically not shod long before, just for the look. And then most of the time, straight after the sale, they have the shoes taken off. But my point is, they are shod at an early age, and horses are raced as 2-year-olds in some cases. Again, not in Isabelle's case. She was raced in her late 2-year-old year, but she was nearly a 3-year-old. But they are shod a lot earlier than some other horses. This can make their feet very fragile, and yeah. So as soon as I got her, I wanted to get her shoes off just so they could grow out. She could grow a decent hoof. She will probably have shoes off for about 6 to 9 months, and this is going under the direction of my farrier too, who has seen her feet and given his opinion. And this will allow the nail holes to grow out. She will have that stage of crummy bad hooves, which I will show you. I will show you everything, because I have seen videos where people have taken off the track thoroughbreds and done series and stuff, but I haven't seen one that actually documents it from the very start, literally when they've finished their last race and had them a day after into their new homes. I've not seen that, and I thought it would be interesting because I know it's something I would have loved to watch. I have watched plenty of off the track thoroughbred series, but I just haven't seen one, and there's probably some out there, I just haven't seen one where they're literally tracking it from as soon as they finish. Isabelle, she started racing in her late 2-year-old year, and she would have been broken in as a 2-year-old, so she would have had shoes on most likely from when she was broken in up until now, and on and off maybe throughout spells or something. So I know for a fact Isabelle's hooves are going to be dodgy for a while when she first has her shoes off. It's normal, it's what happens. They're going to get chips because she's in a nice big paddock and she's going to run around, and they're weak. I was lucky with Jep that when I took her shoes off, she had really good feet just because of how well I have looked after them, and she was not foot sore at all, and her hooves did not chip. They were perfect. But that is also because I paid really good care to her feet and her diet, which plays a massive part in the hoof growth and the hoof strength. Hence why when Jep's shoes were taken off, it wasn't a big change for her, and we didn't have ugly feet. However, it is expected with Isabelle that she will have dodgy feet, just because a lot of thoroughbreds as well tend to not have very good feet. It's just what happens. You know, Jep's a hardy little riding pony, so it's a bit different. Now, the second visit for Miss Isabelle will be the body worker. Now, I pretty much scheduled the body worker a couple days after her arriving home, not for a particular reason, just because I thought it would be good to have him out, check her over, see if she was sore, because after a racing career it wouldn't be surprising if she has some sore spots. Like any top athlete, you are bound to get soreness and, you know, some muscle pain from working at such a high level. Yeah, that was my plan. I'd booked him to come out, and then in a few days after booking him, I did notice that she appeared to be walking a bit sore. She's not lame or not bearing weight, she's just walking stiff, and to me, from my experiences, I think it's something higher up towards her back end. So I don't think it's, and watching her walk, it's nothing to do with her hooves. And I even had my farrier out and I showed him it, and I was like, what do you think? And he said the same thing as me, and I told him I'm getting my body worker out, hopefully he'll be able to find something, and he agreed that that's the best option and that he'll more than likely be able to find something. The next stage is having him out, and I'm so glad that I booked him in prior to her having this little bit of soreness, and because he is a very busy man and it's not easy to get in with him with little notice, so it's good that he's coming in a couple days. I've had him for a few years now. He has treated all my horses and he is just amazing and so good with them. Yeah, hi. No new bites, that's good. Just the old ones, like that. It's not you though, is it? Nope, it's you. You're the one that bites her. So Isabelle had her bodywork treatment yesterday, and they came back. The soreness was in her back and her neck. The soreness in her back was from her bites from one of the gelding. You can see one next to her white patch there. That white patch is just a birthmark. But anyway, because she's gotten a few good bites from that head gelding, I have put her in this grass paddock / yard just until Bambi can go back out. So she is going to be here next to my two, and there are more horses over here, and she'll just be here until Bambi can go out in the big paddock, so when her bandage is off, and then the three of mine will go together. But this way they can slowly get used to each other. She hasn't actually met Bambi or Jet before, so yeah. Bambi's scratching her head on the gate. So this way she can start to get used to them, and in about 2 weeks time, when Bambi can go back out in one of the big paddocks, she can go with both of them. So Jep and Bambi are currently in like 2 yards. I mean, they're not really yards, they're like I guess you could call them like day yards or something, or day paddocks, because they're not like yard type tiny. But yeah, she's not even interested. She don't care about you two. This way, because she's feeling so much better after her massage, it's not going to go backwards. Like she's not going to get another nasty bite and be really sore again. So yeah, she was really good as well with the body worker. Like, she was a bit nervous at the start, but really got into it. She's just so sensible. Even when she's nervous, she's just so sensible. And once she realizes that nothing bad is going to happen, she relaxed really well into it. And she's putting on a bit of weight, which is nice, filling out a little bit more. She's going to go over to them. Oh, Bambi, stop purring at the gate. So a lot of people have been wanting me to do a series with, which I am doing, and I guess this is like a part 1 to it. However, it's going to be a while till I start working her, just because she is on this break, but I thought it would be interesting to show you everything I'm doing for her when she has just come off the track. So it's very basic. I'm grooming her, and then that's it. I groom her occasionally, and I take her for little walks occasionally around the property, and then that's all she does. And just getting her used to me, which has improved massively, and I'm so over the moon with how happy she is to be around me. So it's not going to feature any riding or any work whatsoever for quite a while, but I thought this would be still interesting for you guys to see. She is on a different diet now as well, which is not a huge change, because it's never good to go from such a high grain diet to no grain at all. That is not good, and you are more than likely to get ulcers in your thoroughbreds if you do that. So her breeder, who is the one who gave her to me, has put her on a different diet and is feeding her her own feed, because she's done this a lot. She knows what works best and the best feeds to change them over to, as she knows exactly what she's been fed on the track. But for those wondering as well, it does take approximately, like, give or take 6 weeks for that high grain diet to be completely out of her system. It's a good thing to know as well, if you are getting it off the track, as to how long you should expect them to kind of get off that grain high, if you will. It's around 6 weeks. She gets hay twice a day with her feed, and she is on loosened chaff, a bit of biomare, and also I think it's Pride's Cool. I don't know, I'd have to check what exactly she's on, but she explained it all to me and why she puts them on this for spelling and when they're retiring from racing, because obviously the biomare is still a source of grain, and it can make them a little bit spicy, but it's just not good to take them off grain altogether, because that can really upset their stomach and cause them to get ulcers. But yeah, the Pride's feed that she is on, I can't remember the name, but it's one of the Pride's feed, she explained to me is a cooling mix, so it's nothing with high energy. But yeah, so that is what she is on and what she will be on until I bring her back into work. Now, one more thing I will mention that I plan to put her on, which again you'll see later in this video, is some TuffRock GI. Now, for those of you who don't know, it is a very, very high percentage rate of horses coming off the track to get ulcers, or already have ulcers. She has not shown any symptoms of having ulcers. I have palpated her as well. If you don't know how to do that, you can research it. There's plenty of research on how to palpate for ulcers, and it's not always accurate, and you can't find hindgut ulcers with that, but hindgut ulcers aren't as common. So anyway, off track a bit. So I do not believe she has ulcers. However, there still is a chance that she can get ulcers having such a massive change in her life. So I will be putting her on the TuffRock GI to help assist that and make sure that we don't get any ulcers or have an upset stomach from the changes. And she will be on that for 10 days. But I have not put her on that yet. Main reason is because I want her to be 100% comfortable with me. She has made so much progress and been so good and comfortable and relaxed around me and letting me touch her all over now. And I can even touch her ears, which is massive. She was not a fan of me getting anywhere near her ears before. Her face, but her ears especially. I can now finally touch her all over her face, but I want to have her that comfortable with me for a bit longer before I start giving her oral substances. If she doesn't like the taste, or it's just, you know, not enjoyable for her, she could easily just go backwards and associate me with, I'm gonna shove something down her throat. So yeah, and as I've mentioned in the last video as well, she was not super keen on being caught. She never really ran away from me, but she'd kind of like she was hesitant to me catching her, and she is now easily letting me catch her in the paddock. She's not coming up to me or anything like that, but that's not to be expected at this stage. But the point is she's letting me walk straight up to her and put a halter on her. So it's progress, and I don't want to be ruining that by introducing something that she may not like and then her associating that with me. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer, because it's all about weighing up the odds and the positives and the negatives, and it's not going to kill her if she's not on it until a bit longer. A lot of people don't even put horses that come off the track on any ulcer type treatments or preventatives. With my research and experience with racehorses and stuff, I do think that they should be on it as soon as they retire and get out of the racing lifestyle and the diet. I think it is so important, because so many horses will develop ulcers when they come off the track, and you just want to be on top of that, because even if she wasn't to get ulcers, it's always going to be better if I gave her something as a preventative, which is easy to do and not expensive and a lot cheaper than if she were to get ulcers and me having to put her on a massive ulcer treatment. So this is a preventative and should work out well. So this is the TuffRock GI, which I mentioned before, and this stuff is absolutely amazing. I'm so grateful to be sponsored by TuffRock, and they actually sent me this when Bambi was on her box rest, because for horses like Bambi who live out in the paddock 24/7 and then to get locked in a stable 24/7 due to her injury, it is also very likely that the horse can develop ulcers. So I put her on this while she was for 10 days during her time on box rest to prevent her getting ulcers, and she didn't get ulcers. She was all good. And then after being on this, she went on Conditioner Plus, which is also by TuffRock, and she's still on that now with her new injury. So that's why it has been opened and used, because Bambi was on it. Now Isabelle will be on this for 10 days, as I said, once I feel like she's comfortable enough around me that this isn't going to make us go backwards. I will feature all of this in the next video I do with Isabelle though, because this video is just going to be too long, and I have a lot planned for part 2 of this series, because I really want to show you guys how she goes with being groomed and how I am dealing with her severe head shyness, and how I am letting her know that I am not going to hurt her, and that she has no reason to be scared of my hand near her face or any brush near her face. And that's going to be a long process because she is very head shy, but we've already come along leaps and bounds with that. So again, this will be in the next video of me actually using it, and I'll show you guys how she goes with it and how I go about doing it, as well as all of the grooming and how she is going with that. Also, I noticed throughout this whole video I have been doing the worst camera angles ever, because I was just editing this video and I am down here all the time and it's making me look like I have a double chin. I don't, but apparently camera angles is not my thing. So anyway, we need to train myself to hold the camera up here so I don't have a double chin. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. So I'm sorry if this video may have been a little bit boring to some, because it was just a lot of talking, but personally I find it really interesting. So I just hope that some of you guys also find what I had to say interesting, because I'm trying to keep it as informative as possible and tell you guys why I'm doing what I'm doing and the process of it all, just because I think it's fascinating. And I'm sorry if you don't. But if you're watching this part, that means you sat through the whole video, so you obviously found it interesting. That is great. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm super excited to put out the next part to this series. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below if this is something that you are looking forward to, and if you're keen to see everything along the journey with Isabelle, even while we aren't riding. I hope you guys find all this stuff interesting too. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye!